Gunshots, gunshots, gunshots. And let's not forget, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. See our point that welcome to the nighttime ride. This the nighttime ride. Let's ride. All right. Shannon Sharpe got this young lady that's the OnlyFans star. You know what OnlyFans is. Gabriella Zuninga. You know what I mean? Now, you see her on the screen. They was in an extra relationship where they was knocking boots. They was doing some freaky stuff. She was even telling them she wanted to have a black baby. He allegedly, order, and then, whatever happened, and then she went back to get art again, and in between there, she wanted to have babies. We're going to listen to this whole joint where they're going to break it down, but this is another Tony Busby edition, okay? So sit back, enjoy the ride, and let's see what happens here. All right, I want the intro, man. I want the intro. Hold up, man. Hold up. You know what I mean? Hold up. Yeah. Let's go. All right, let's go, man. This is what it is. All right, we got Shannon Sharpe. He gonna make a little speech. He gonna let it be known that he got a nighttime squally, and they knocking boots. She with it all, and now that he was offered $50 million because his podcast did so good with Cat Williams and what's the other kid? D.L. Hughley. That took shots at Shannon Sharpe. Now that he got in there because D.L. Hughley was mad that Shannon Sharpe had somebody come on the show. I think it was Monique. It was all kinds of, catty stuff. But, this the nighttime ride. Let's see what Shannon Sharpe got to say about the squally that's charging him with taking the boots, not knocking the boots. All right.
First, we have this statement from him on his Instagram where he says that he's going to be open, transparent, defend himself because this isn't right. And he says that this whole thing is being orchestrated by Tony Busby.
Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty. And
do you think Tony Busby targets black men, or you think black men put themselves in the situation and positions to be targeted? Put that in the comments, because somewhere along the line, let's ride. Somewhere along the line, I took accountability for poisoning my community, and now I'm trying to give back by saving the very community that I poisoned. I was even out there today because I'm starting a basketball league up there in Harlem, and we doing our thing, trying to give back to what we tore down and took apart. Now, do you think that these men is putting themselves in these situations, or you think that the bag they're getting is putting them in this situation? Let's not forget about the bag. You're going to get it real over here, Unique Mecca Audio, man. It's a nighttime ride, so it's a grown and sexy. If y'all want the real, I'm getting ready to get it to you.
Played into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so.
Yo, you see what I'm saying? It's supposed to be a little sex tape, right? He said, she got the sex tape, so he knows she got the tape, and he even know how long it is. It's a little 10 minutes. I knock the boots. I let her have a little fun, and but it wasn't no R-ing going on that. That was all consensual because that's what the relationship was. But now I'm looking at 50 million, and she want a piece of that bag. Welcome to the Diddy stimulus.
Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself.
Then how do you know it's 10 minutes if you don't have it? That means you knew she had it. You trusted her enough to give it to her. And the crazy part is you knew. Shannon Sharpe, that she made movies for a living and she ears it and make money, and you give her a chance to videotape you and have that in her collection and resume and catalog of your little black cheeks jumping up in and out that hot box. that she said out her own mouth she wanted to have a black baby. Somebody help me understand what's going on. You let an OnlyFans star that can suck. That's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it they can suck for a living. You know what I mean? You understand that, right? Yeah, okay. This is my man Jay, I think. But they can suck for a living, and now they coming in to all of this, bull crap. I just don't get it. Somebody explain to me how she gets away with this. Hold up, man. Put the number on the screen. I'm gonna put the number on the screen. Y'all call in and tell me on this phone call. This is the nighttime ride. I want to know what you think about that. He give a woman that sells X tapes for a living, a X tape with him and her on it, and he don't think that's coming back to bite him in his black. Somebody talk to me.
You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media.
And he goes on to say that the encounter in question took place during the day at the invitation of Jane Doe, says that this was all a deliberate setup by her. He also, by the way, revealed her first name, and apparently her name that she purportedly uses on OnlyFans. We're not going to reveal those names here. We're not going to do that. But he does go on to say, quote, "My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about, and I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do." And we also got a statement from his attorney, Lonnie J. Davis, and that reads, "Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct, especially the gross lie of rape, and will not submit to what he sees as an egregious attempt at blackmail, and is prepared to fight these false claims vigorously in court."
Do y'all think these are false claims, or do you think Shannon Sharpe is really a freak? Somebody explain to me for this ride. Because just a couple of months ago, when he had the big 100 million views off the Cat Williams joint, they said he was a he cipher monkey cipher. How did he go from a he cipher monkey cipher to a hedo? Somebody let me know what is going on. I'm really confused. Put it in the comments. Call me. Tell me something now. He was just a he cipher monkey cipher on YouTube, and now European come out and said that he oughta, and you're running with it. Somebody explain that to me. Like I said, the phone number is on the screen, man. The phone number need to be on the screen. Here go the phone number. Let me put it up there, because I ain't got no help. The phone number should be on the screen right now. If you want to call in and answer this question for me because I'm confused, the phone line is open.
Davis has also commented about that apparent tape that was seemingly referenced by Sharpe, because he accuses Jane Doe of providing a, quote, secretly recorded and heavily edited video to them that purports to be a non-consensual encounter of some kind. But if
it's secretly recorded, how do you know, Trigger? You see how stupid this is? It's secretly recorded, but you know about it. You know it's professionally edited, and you know it's about 10 minutes. My man, you don't sound good right now. I want to defend you, but I can't. Because you making yourself look like, an S-bag right now. You know what I mean? Let's get these likes up. We need to get these likes popping. All right?
Davis claimed that Jane Doe, quote, has refused to provide a copy of the full unedited version of the recording to Mr. Sharpe's legal team. And then there's this.
All right, so she don't want to record it. Let's see what he got to say. Maybe they're going to explain to me what's going on. What's happening, family? You recorded, who you calling, where you from, and all that.
Yes, this is Nicole calling in from Texas.
So what you think about this with Shannon Sharpe and this OnlyFans young lady?
Yes, sir. I think that it's pretty much he fell into it on his own. He should have been more cautious against what was going on. I think it was a setup, but he should have known better.
Okay, so how do you think he could have been more cautious? Wore rubber?
Yeah, you think, you're a comedian like that. Yeah, you got me with that one.
You know what I mean?
It's just more the fact that, you're dealing with like a 50, plus year old man.
And he horny as a bag of rocks.
and that kind of played a part into it too, you know what I'm saying? But it's just kind of more or less like the Jonathan Majors effect, if you will. Like, you know, how many times, like Dr. Umar said, you got to get snow bunnied up, you know, before you think, should you not mess with them like that? But, you know, it's all good. I mean, I like Shannon Sharpe's podcast, but, you know, his bedroom activities, I don't mean to share that with the whole
All right,
world.
so what you saying? Hold on. You're saying like the black men be getting snow bunnied up. You ain't never been G.I. Joe'd? I'm just saying, you never had a white boy?
No, I don't roll like that. I'm strictly for the dark-skinned kings, you know what I'm saying? That's my preference.
How many kids they gave you?
Oh.
How many kids you got?
Oh, I have one son.
Oh, okay. So see, that tells a lot, right? That tells a lot. You know?
I was married to a Bahamian man for 5 years. I have one son that's 21 going on 22. He'll be 22 in May. A lovely, a nice gentleman. I'm very proud of my son.
And I'm proud of you. You sound real intelligent, but still, I just want to know how he could have been more precautious other than wear rubber.
Well, other than wearing a rubber, which, you know, we all got to protect ourselves, you know, unless we want to be on the PrEP medication. I mean, I would like to know your thoughts on, you know, that, but that's a whole separate podcast. I would like to know your thoughts on, you know, the state of the Black community as it relates to the sexual activities, because I think this brought up a very, something very important subject, you know, with the sexuality that's going on out here. You know, he was engaging in BDSM and the bondage. And
what's BDSM? I never heard of that. I heard it, but I never. What the initials mean?
The bondage, sadomasochist.
So
that's where they wear the leather, and they tie each other.
Oh, he was down with that too.
Sir, you said, is he down with that?
Hold up. So let me ask you this. Right? I can't picture it, and I don't want to picture it. Could you picture Shannon Sharpe in an all black latex, licorice looking bodysuit?
I can't picture him. I think this is why this is so
okay. Pause. That's where I'm getting at. If you can picture him in that means that he's a he cipher, monkey cipher, but now he's charged with ordering a white girl. Somebody explain this to me. That's the only fan star that give it up for $1 on the channel. I mean, somebody tell me.
Yeah, let's ride for a minute on that, as you say. You know, that's one of my favorite sayings you got. But yeah, as far as like,
hold on. So let me get the wheels. Hold on, let me get a ride. All right.
Let's ride this bitch. Yes, while we ride. Okay.
You know what I mean?
What other thing he could have did? The only thing he could have did besides wearing a condom, as you say, is he should have known not to be fucking with no OnlyFans bitch. I mean,
that's what I wanted to hear you say. That's what I wanted to
hear. I mean, he asked the female, can she sign an NDA? She didn't want to sign the NDA. He still was messing with her. Then she's on OnlyFans, so he should have known better.
All right. Look. See, we on some grown folks' time because this is after night. This is the nighttime ride. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just say it like this, right? You got Shannon Sharpe, you know, big old freak. We already know that, right? But they was calling him he cipher, monkey cipher. Now he get with a European that wants to give it up to him, but he wants him to sign an NBA and DA, so that means that he planned on being with her for a minute. You know what I mean? Because back in the days, I thought when you got with escorts, it was only for a night. So you didn't need an NDA, because after that, they didn't know who you was because they just met you in the room and did what you had to do. Or did he say, hey, I'm Shannon Sharpe, I'm an old man, I'm dead broke, and I want to be your sugar daddy?
I think it was like a combination of that. He thought he could buy her love. He thought he could he thought that she was an easy mark, but little did he know that he was the mark the whole time. And, he a sucker. He's a big sucker.
And now, we got to say it for him too. But I love a dog. You know, like I know she's but I mean, OnlyFans, but I love a dog. I know that she done been with 4 dudes at one time on her OnlyFans page, but I love a dog. That's not a sucker. That's just, but I love a dog. That's a polite word for them now, so please don't call them suckers. That's like calling a sanitary engineer a garbage man in today's terminology. And we don't do that.
Pretty much.
That's why they call it escorting and OnlyFans now.
he collected the trash, and now he's coming up with fleas. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. But hey, we live and we learn, and I guess he's gonna learn from this.
Let me get back to this. Thank you. Text your name in the joint and where you from. Where did you say you from?
Dallas, Texas, calling in.
Big shout out to Dallas. All right.
Love you out here. Keep doing what you do.
All right, thank you, man. Hey, big shout out to Willie D too. Willie D contacted me to get on the show, and I sent him the number waiting on the holler.
I fucks with Willie D.
No, me too. I like Willie D. I watch him because he's straight up. Willie D don't try to be something that he's not. That's a dude that I can sit down with. I just can't sit down with a dude, no disrespect like that, Adam and all these dudes that's all caught up in the middle of this, because if they would have asked me 0.5% of the crap they asked Big Baby or whatever his name is, what's his name?
Baby, I want to tell you, Mr. Mecca Audio, I want to tell you that I have appreciated your work so much on the Brick Baby, the coverage of the Brick Baby situation. I've been loving it. I especially love the one where you went in on Brick Baby's mother and her antics when she was calling him on the phone. But yes, indeed, please don't compromise your integrity by sitting down with some of these fly-by-night.
Nah, man, get out of here.
The questions. Yeah, keep your integrity, because that's what the people want. That's why we come to your channel, because we know you come with the real shit, and we don't want that fake, watered-down shit. So keep on doing it for the people.
That's what I'm saying. See, I wouldn't sit down one of them because it ain't even so much about that. It's more or less I want to keep my freedom. Because if they ask me that crap, I'm going to tear that joint up, rip their face off, and I'm going to be back in prison. I'm not trying to put myself in that situation, so I'm not going to sit down with a scumbag and not expect to be hit with cum. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I know better than that. So y'all keep your crap over there, and I'll stay over here and try and reach the people while you try and twist the people's mind to believe the bull crap by having people come on your show to tell all types of things to wind up in prison. While he's in prison, now he's calling out, and Adam is on vacation, laying up with his wife, having a ball. You know what I mean? Say, man, screw that trigger. I'll get another one. Matter of fact, I got 3 triggers. I got 3 monkeys running my show right now while I'm on vacation. Right. You know what I mean? That's what Adam was saying. I got 3 monkeys holding it down to keep it warm. By the time I go back, I'll test the water, see what's going on. I mean, no disrespect. I'm just keeping it 100. And even Adam told him, dog, you locked up, the feds on your ass, so I'm going to keep it real the same as you do in the hood. Now I got to act like I don't know you, Brick Baby. So the relationship that we had, you supposed to know to keep it on the hush, because you don't want my white ass in there with you, because you already know I'll be wearing a skirt, and I ain't trying to wear a skirt. And if they come pull me up and ask me anything about you, Brick Baby, I'm telling. No, he's going to say, I'm not snitching. I'm just telling. The same way, he's not a garbage man. He's a sanitation engineer. You understand what I'm saying?
It's just the same thing with Rick Ross. It's the same thing with Rick Ross. I was never a correctional officer. Come on.
But if I'm saying, just be who you are. That's like me saying, I never sold no drugs. I never poisoned my community. No, you have to take responsibility so you can repent. That's like a caterpillar, shedding its skin and becoming a butterfly. I feel like I'm a effing butterfly right now, trying to save the youth. You know what I mean? I'm a new man, but thank you for calling in. Let me get back to this, Mommy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
All right.
Bye. All right. Sharpe and his legal team released all of these apparent text messages between him and this Jane Doe, reportedly 44 pages worth of communications. For example, as reported by TMZ, there's one apparent message from October 2023 where Jane Doe seemingly messages Sharpe, I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're bleeping me. Now, the New York Post reporting on other messages.
Whoa. She want a dog collar. Hold up. She want a dog collar around her neck while he's choking her, and now she's saying that he ought her. Who's this? Where you calling? Where you calling from? You answer that question for me.
Okay, this is V. I'm calling from Anaheim, California.
Talk to me, Kelly.
Oh man, I don't even do this. About the first time I ever called in anyway. I'm gonna tell you, but that's how much this thing right here, OG got to me, man. It's at this time, man. Everything's going on, man. It just what's the word that we could use that it really just hits that this is kind of like it's demoralizing. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? For a person, for a brother to be coming on this level and to be doing the things he's doing, and I seen last night, I was like, man, I'm telling my son, I'm like, nah, I know what it is. It's a shake-up, but at the same time, he done this and that. Man, he done gave, the stuff that you done talked about right now, the video, all that, man, is demoralizing. For brothers to be like my son trying to get there and have his own business and do stuff, he giving away the money we trying to get, man. You know, and if we went to that brother right now, a week ago, it was like, man, my son right here, he trying to do something. What you wearing? Oh, he coming. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't help me not one bit. He'd be, you know what I mean, not to be fun, but that's how the society is right now, and it's a shame, man. It's a shame that it's like that.
That's what I'm saying. What I mean? All right, well, listen, let me answer the question because I got to get on to the show and another caller. What it is,
I just had to say that.
Yeah, no, that was right. That was right. That's content. I'm gonna let you know what it is. I'm from the old school, right? Like, you know, BT getting ready to pick up my joint. I'm getting ready to do something on BT. So I mentioned a couple of my homeboys in my interview that I'm putting up on BT. So hopefully BT would know their names. So now we could present their names with my name so they could get on BT to be in the same situation they eat when I eat. Because I don't want to be the only one eating. I want all of us to eat. I don't want you to always come to me to borrow 10, 20 grand. I want to be able to go to you to borrow 10, 20 grand.
What you want to do is you want to get yours and give everybody else theirs. And if everybody in the group are more got it, that's more money for everybody.
All right, let me take this other call. You 100. Yo, what up? You on? Let's up. Keep it so I can get the show going. Who you are, where you from, you're being recorded. So don't say I didn't know. Old rat bastard flip-flop wearing in public sneak phone call crap. Huh? Yo, you gotta turn the show down on your end, my dog. Turn it down.
My name is Evelyn, and I'm from Wichita, Kansas. And I just want, can you hear me?
We hear you perfectly, sis.
Okay, so I just want to comment on Shannon Sharpe, and I believe that the young lady is out for the bag.
Talk to him.
If he, you know, I was 19 and I went with a man 39 years older than me. So I know what that's like. It's a shakedown. I mean, I can't shake my man down. I went with him because that's what I wanted to do. But that girl she knows exactly what she's doing. She's hitting that brother for everything he got, trying to expose, you know. The relationship was mutual. It was mutual. And if he was getting it like that, she probably was screaming, no, 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 not to say no, no, no to stop, but, you know, no, 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 in a sexual kind of connotation. Like, oh, no, 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 you know? That's it. That's all I want to say.
Well, thank you for sharing that, sis. And I'm going to add to that, right? I think that might be right because you already know when they in the throes of ecstasy, what they say, no means yes, but now no means no. And they have to remember that. So they supposed to, he was supposed to make sure it was emphatically clear that if the word no is mentioned, no means no. Say yes, say, oh God, you killing me, Shannon. But do not say no and tell me that it means yes. We're going to have to call no what it is. Right or wrong, sis?
Right or wrong, you're right.
All right, thanks for tapping in. All right, text me your name and where you're from so I can save the content. All right, what's up? Who this calling? Let's up. You're being recorded.
That's right, brother. This is 90s Massive, Brooklyn, Flatbush.
Big up, big up, big up, big up.
I'm just gonna say like this, brother. He got what his hand called for.
Talk to me.
That's it. He got what his hand called for.
Why you say that? Explain that.
It ain't too much to explain. He's got what, 29 years older than his OnlyFans.
There you go. Then tell it. Dude, I agree with you, but a lot of people listening don't know.
He supposed to hit it and quit it. That ain't no girlfriend. That ain't no.
And that's the point I made. Yeah.
That's everybody's boo.
Yeah. I thought. Listen, I thought when they went and got an escort, it was for a night. You know what I mean? Not to sign an NDA to have a continuing relationship. But thank you for calling in. Next caller. All right. What's up, family? You're being recorded.
Audio, Mecca audio. What's up? What's up? We got Boston in the house.
Boston, big up, big up, big up.
You're done know.
You're done know.
Come on. But yo, I don't think no grown man should be with no younger girl. No disrespect to that.
Yes, yeah. You know?
Nah, real talk is not cool, especially a few years. We got sisters and a lot of aunts and stuff. So back on that, but I was wondering if I just give a shout out to my clothing line.
Go ahead, family. Hit it. So I'll go back with the show.
Yeah. So it's www.guymanway.com. You can find us on Instagram.
Say it again slow so I can have them try and write it down. I'm even going to do you a bigger slide. I'm going to give you a free promo and put it up on the channel right now. Spell it out real quick. Or text it in the comment. Text it in the comment and I'll put it up on the show. All right? I'm going to give you a shout out. And you ain't even sent a donation. Let me go back. I got a couple of donations. I done got caught up in this and I took it off. Let me see. Who is this right here? Bong. Let's see. What was that? All right. David Miller. Good looking. Unique. We love what you do for the culture. You already know. Thank you, family. I appreciate it. If more people understand that the game was to be sold, we wouldn't have so many rat bastards trying to make content about real men. You know? Where's the other one? There was another one that was in gold. Yeah, but you good though, family? I'm getting ready to get back to this. All right?
No, bless up, brother.
Yeah, bless up, Dad. All right, so now this is where we at, right? Now this is where we at. Let's get back to this, man. Let's see where Shannon is at with this.
From Jane Doe, like, tie me up and do bad things to me. I know you missed this big, juicy bleep, $25K for each cheek. Tie me up like this.
Hold on, we got to run that back. Hold on. Because I just answered the phone and all that. This is live, so we going to play with it. Listen to these text messages that they got going back and forth, because we going to ride, and you tell me if she's a freak or if he's a trick that got caught up. Let's ride.
As reported by TMZ, there's one apparent message from October 2023.
Check this out.
Jane Doe seemingly messages Sharpe, I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're bleeping me.
Yo, did you hear? The girl just said that she wanted him to put a dog collar around her neck while he's, and now she's suing him and said, and Tony Busby said, no, just be no. That lady don't seem like she got no in her vocabulary. Somebody tell me if she got no in her vocabulary. Put the number up on the screen so they could call and see what's going on, man. I need to know, but let's see the next text message.
Now, the New York Post reporting on other messages allegedly from Jane Doe, like, tie me up and do bad things to me. I know you missed this big, juicy bleep, $25K for each cheek.
Damn. He took, whoa. Did you see that? Tie me up and do bad things to me, she said. Now she cries, I know you missed this big, black, juicy 3 letters, start with an A, end with a couple of S's, $25K for each cheek. So she wanted 50 grand for him to palm and utilize those cheeks how he wanted, and now it's called somebody tell me I'm wrong or explain this to me. I'm confused. All right, there you go. Tie me up like this, and oh my God, somebody help me, man. Yo, you being recorded. Who you are, where you from? Tell me something. Please help me, man. Huh?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's inappropriate how he's expecting to move forward with the youngin, you know? Yeah, so like I just think that it speaks volumes within our community. Like, men at a certain age gotta recognize that you should be dealing with women around your age. You know, you carry a certain scent, you carry a certain type of skin texture. You know, you can't be laid up on something that's young.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm pushing 40.
Oh, you sound young as a mother. You know, but you 100% right. Because like I'm 60, I don't need a 21, 22, 23-year-old because that ain't nothing but a big ass headache. You know?
Exactly. And if you think about it, theoretically speaking, like within that age gap, there really is nothing that you guys would have in common. Not speaking in a sense of you, but just in general, you know? I think you know, the mindset has to change because if you think about it, the younger generation deal with the younger generation, the older generation, you know, go find someone around your age, even if it's like 5 years younger, 10 years younger, 5 years older, 10 years older. I just think that within our community, most men need to recognize the importance of like preserving the younger generation and understanding that they're going to need to have their own experience. But once you push yourself up around a young person, it's like, what do you expect, you know?
I like
and
that.
It goes both ways, not just for men, for women too, you know?
Okay, okay, let me ask you this though, Ron, because you're speaking real good. What do you think about Jane Doe saying, tie me up and do bad things to me? I know you missed this juicy ass. $25K for each cheek. Tie me up like this and F me. What do you think about she saying that and then now she turns around and she's crying off? Please explain that from a woman's point of view.
So obviously, I don't think that's cool. I think she obviously had a mindset. She knew what she was doing. She knew what her intentions were. You know, obviously, I feel like it was more of a money grab, you know, because evidently I didn't think she would, you know, any woman that age dealing with a man around his age, like theoretically speaking, I don't think they're looking for something long term.
I like that.
You still there? Yeah,
of course.
Think about it. Like, there's really like no shared common interest. I mean, there might be a few, but theoretically speaking, as an older individual, you know, you gotta, you know, go. Just in the words of TLC, don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers that you're used to. Period. Point blank.
Well, I'm gonna give you one. My mama always said that don't get attached to a new broom, because the new broom may sweep good, but the old broom knows all the corners. You heard that?
Exactly. Exactly. And I think he was going through like, most people around his age usually, actually it surpasses that, but there's like a certain point in most people's life. I don't know if it's like mid 40s, early 50s, but I feel like oftentimes what you see is a lot of people go through this thing called midlife crisis, you know? And, you know, especially if you were a player from the Himalayas, you're going to look at it from an aspect where it's like, you know what, I want to maintain this feeling of being young, but you could very well find someone that's close enough, you know? All right.
Hold on. I'm going to cut you off. I think that's crap. Right? I'm going to tell you why I think that's crap. When I say that's crap, that means I agree with you. You know what I mean? But I want to add to that.
Okay.
I say that's crap because you got to understand that when we young, we just want to bone everything. That builds our ego. You understand? We can have a woman and we still want to bone everything we see, but the woman is the one we love. The one we bone is the one we boning. That's like Jay-Z said in Song Cry. I was just effing them chicks. I was coming right back. You understand what I'm saying? And the women have to understand that. And that's what the men don't understand, that the women don't understand, that a man could look at it like it's just sex that they're having with another female. But the woman look at it like it's the start of a relationship. You understand? And then you could tell them all day that this is just, you know, we're just friends, we just knocking boots. They say they with it. Then you hit that certain spot deep within their guts. And then now all of a sudden they're in love and they think you're supposed to be in love and they want to do all this old clingy crap. Am I right or wrong? Let me hear your opinion on that.
Okay, so hopefully I'm chiming on the same bell that you're trying to chime. So for me, I feel like, you know, at this point in time, especially in the year that we're in, a lot of people, you know, having access to social media and just research within the palm of their hands. We all need to understand that, you know, sex is spiritual. You know,
there you go.
We don't really have control in terms of like what comes out as a result of it. Sometimes it's pregnancy, sometimes it's attachment. But in all essence, I feel like people need to value sex or have a better understanding of like, you know, what sex is, because it definitely could lead you to, you know, a path of, you know, opposite of what you had intentionally, you know, initiated at first. You know, some people, they look at it as, you know what, I'm just having fun. But sometimes that could lead on to like, you know, being attached emotionally.
Hold on, pause. Let's separate that and understand that they're just having fun, but the other person is getting attached, is what you're saying, right?
So I think it's more in reference to like, you know.
Now, I might be wrong. That was a suggestion. I don't want to lead you. Is that what you're saying? When you say attached, who gets attached? The dude that's just saying he's having sex, or the woman that he's having the sex with?
The dude that is having, extramarital sex outside of his, initial relationship. There's a great possibility that even if the guy's intention is just to have fun and thus, sometimes it could lead down to a different path, again.
So you're saying basically she could put it on him and turn him out?
Exactly. She
All
could
right,
put
let's
it
keep
on
it
him,
100.
he could get attached.
Yeah, she could squeeze that hot box on him and make his Frankfurter scream like a banshee and have him allowing them to take a videotape, knowing that she's the only fan star, and editing it and knowing that it's only about 10 minutes. Shannon, you sound really crazy right now. How old did he say he was? I mean, is this the men that I left behind? And I know he probably going to be mad, but I got to keep it a G.
But just to circle back, I heard what you said in terms of not verbatim from what you stated, but people need to respect the union. Like, if you want to be the type of person that just want to have just random sex here and there, that's on you, but you just got to be honest with the person that you're with. I don't think everyone deserves to be in a relationship, or I don't think everyone is ready to be in a relationship. So if you're in a relationship and you're obviously conversing with the person that you're with and you're promising like, hey, I want this forever, this on the third, work it out with that person forever. But in terms of a man stating like, you're wifey, you're my wife, but here and there, I want to tap, women left and right or once in a blue. To me, I think it's disrespectful. Obviously, you may look at it from a standpoint because I'm speaking from a woman's, point of view. But even if I was a man, I think, if I felt like I had a high...
Well, you ain't got a set of nuts, so you're not a man, so we're not going to speak like that.
Right. But just in general, I think people just need to become more honest with themselves.
Now, you're right, though. I agree with you 100%, but that's what I'm saying, right? My mama taught me something, right? I'm a ride. My mama always taught me and my brother from we was youth, never take away a woman's right if she choose to deal with your bullshit. So if you plan on just hitting it and moving, hitting it and having fun, hitting it and staying, hitting it and having a relationship, whatever it is, make your intentions perfectly clear so she can make a sane decision and a sane choice. There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, sounds sane.
Everyone is entitled to have a preference. Everyone's entitled to have a decision. So what's happening, not just within our community, but just in general, people need to understand the ramification that comes with cheating or the ramification that comes with like not being honest and truthful. Again, I'm not reiterating or I'm not stating it in a way where, if someone has a high sex drive, if they just want to be a bachelor, they just want to be single and do them, that's fine. But if you're like in a long-term relationship, there should be some clarity in terms of like your intentions and your plans, if you're...
Yeah, but a lot of times men look at it like what she don't know won't hurt her.
But vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. Vice versa. I'm not saying one way. Well, they both look at it that way. They love their partner, but at some point they might feel like something is missing, so they may go astray, but that don't mean that they're in love with what they strayed with. You understand?
No, I understand what you're saying, but to me, it defeats the whole purpose because that's the
and
thing,
it does.
Right?
I agree with you. I'm just giving a different.
When it comes to marriage, yeah, I hear you, sir. It's when it comes to marriage, it's a union between you, your partner, and God.
Round of applause.
So, and aside from that, it's like...
All right, calm down so she can talk. Hold on, calm down, y'all. Calm down. Please let her finish. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. To me, you got to think about it like from an emotional standpoint, because we both have feelings between genders, right? I'm pretty sure most men may not be in agreement with the woman that they're dealing with, stepping out, being sneaky, and vice versa, and some people, they're into polygamy, they're into, whatever the hell they're into, it is what it is. I just feel like people need to be intentional, people need to be honest. And I think the more that you become intentional and honest, the better respect you'll get at the end of the day. It's like, for instance, if I met a guy and he outright, mentioned to me like, I'm feeling you, I want you, or I see you in my life, I see you in my future, but I have a lot of, what within me, at the end of the day, it should boil down to my choice on whether or not I still want to deal with this person versus if I want to say,
all right. So hold on. Let me ask you a question. All right, right down the same line where you at. That's the only reason why I cut you. Well, because I don't want the rat bastard say I didn't let you talk. So now, because that's what they do, But now my thing is, right, if a man meets you and he tell you, like, you know, he hits you in the DM, yo, I'm really feeling you. I seen that picture you took. You look gorgeous in that dress or those hot pants you was wearing or whatever you was wearing, right? And, you know, I'm feeling you and I just want to have some fun with you and see where it go. You know, how would you respond to that?
I mean, it all depends on where I'm at in life. If I'm the type that, you know, if I'm in a space where I'm still trying to navigate through the thing called life and I'm all about that, you know, like, okay, having fun or, you know, testing the waters here and there is something that I'm okay with. And by all means, I wouldn't mind. But if I'm intentional in terms of like everything that I do and the things that I want in my life, I should be able to, you know, communicate that. And I should be able to get that at the end of the day, if that makes any sense.
Makes perfect sense.
It boils down to what the person wants. I feel like when it comes to like what you had mentioned earlier about the, you know, a man with a woman long term and then he decides he wants to step out behind her back and a third, you know, to me that was not part of the agreement, you know. Some relationships, you know, they have it in a way where it's like, all right, babe, I'm with you, you with me. But every so then you step out, I step out, or you just step out.
But then every so then we become human and we fall victim to our lower selves, both men and female. Exactly. That's all it boils down to. But thank you. I don't want to hold it up. Yo, text me your name and where you're from. I'm gonna start doing something called Grown Folks Talk, where I'm gonna get a few ladies up here, a few men, and we're gonna have conversations like this. All right. So text me your name, where you're from, and put Grown Folks Talk in it. All right, sis? Because I think you'll be perfect. It was excellent. All right, you too, bet. All right.
All right. Yeah, bye-bye.
One. All right. Yeah, what up? You'll be recorded. Let's go. I'm trying to do the show, but y'all calling in. Let's keep it riding.
Oh, yeah, I was just calling in from Ted Town, and I was just saying Shannon Sharpe done got played by the rat bitch bastard. And he shouldn't have been fucking with the rat bitch bastard. That's all I want to say. I'm from Ted Town.
Shot-town in the house. You know what it is. All right. You already know. Hey, yo, make sure y'all hit that like button. All right. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to play the intro to give y'all a couple of seconds to hit the like button, and we're going to get back to these freaky texts.
We already got it.
All right. Hit that notification bell.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Cheers, cheers, the crime.
All right. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Mecca audio. All right, let's get back to this.
Tie me up like this and bleep me, with Sharpe replying, if I knew how to, I would. She then allegedly wrote back, it's okay, I have handcuffs. We can stick to those for now.
Yo, she's introducing new freak-offs. She introduced. You think he gonna be in the Diddy night, man? You think Shannon was at a Diddy party? You think she was at a Diddy party? Somebody put in the comments or call me. The number gonna be on the screen in a minute. Don't forget to hit that like button. But Shannon said, if I knew how to, I would. In other words, he say, man, I'm just an old square. I don't know nothing about this new age, what they call it, OnlyFans, freak off. But I'm definitely down, is what Shannon Sharpe said. And then she said, it's okay. I have handcuffs. We can stick to those for now. Meaning they've been using the handcuffs and that's where they've been at. She comfortable with it. He comfortable with it. But she wanted to bring in a little bit more. And he said, I'm down, but I don't know how. I'm just a lame.
Jane Doe also allegedly writing, I want like some hardcore BDSM action though. I'm feeling kind of freaky lately. Then you have this apparent message from March 14th, 2024. I want to be abused, daddy. And then another message from last year.
Yo, did she just say, I want to be abused? And now she's crying. Somebody help me. I'm lost. Hey, yo, you being recorded, man. What's up? What you think about this? She want to be, what?
I'm licking my brother.
Brother Islam. Yo.
Yeah, I said I'm licking my brother.
Walaikum salam, Auntie. Thank you, family.
I watch your channel all the time. I respect you and the ADX you did and things that you did, brother. I love you, brother. You're doing good for the community, and I back you up, bro.
Thank you, Aki. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna follow the. I'm gonna be like Muhammad. Let me say, brother. That Shannon Sharpe, man, and you know what? It shocked me that he was that loose, man. To let, I mean, I don't get it, man. When you get to, I don't get it, brother. Unique. I don't get it, man.
Man, I don't get it either. Talk in the phone, man, because you're talking some real shit right now. Talk in the phone. I hear you. Yeah.
I seen that lady, T, and she talked to you about hey, you, and then you started there, you making all that out of your own story, but I respect you. And I really love you, and I watch your channel. Okay.
Good. Thank you, family.
I'm gonna send you a donation.
All right, I appreciate you.
$50, $100 or something.
All right.
But listen to this stuff. Oh, man, Shannon, man, and then I listened to him and Mucho Cinco, and all that sports stuff and he's real smart on that. You know, on the sports stuff, college football, basketball, you know.
Look. No disrespect, Aki. We're going to get back to the show. We understand all that sports stuff, but right now he let his lower self take over his higher self, and he looking like a real freak, put himself in a bad situation with a snow bunny. That's where we at right now, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's knock this out. All right. Now, let's go back to this.
Last year,
thank you for the comment. He spoke some real.
Always wanted a black baby.
Whoa, she always wanted a black baby? They was talking about babies, and now he's charged with RNR? Somebody help me.
Now, Lonnie Davis commented that, quote, the evidence paints a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, sexual language, and fantasy scenarios. So what happens then? Again, this is not the...
Oh, yeah. Check it out, right? This joint is sponsored by Cashbox. Be on the lookout for Cashbox. It's coming out June 1st. It keep getting pushed back because they're trying to make sure they got everything. So imagine Shannon Sharpe right now, if he wanted to send this little squally some money and he didn't want nobody to know that he was sending to her, they have something called Ghost Box. So nobody, don't show up your name, who sends it, that's where that's at. Not saying what it's supposed to be used for, but then they also got it where, let's say he meant to send, the little squally some money, but he sent it to somebody else by mistake. When they go to accept the money, before he give it to him, it'll be in a virtual bank, and then it'll alert him that, hey, such and such pick up the money. And he can say, nah, that's not the squally I got. I'm Shannon Sharpe. Pull that back, and then resend it to where he want to send it without any penalties. Put the number on the screen. Let's get them calling in. This is sponsored by Cashbox. All right.
End of the story. Jane Doe ends up releasing an audio tape seemingly between her and Sharpe. And I'm going to explain part of what is heard on this tape. We can't play it for legal reasons, but here is part of the exchange, and this part is key. Again, this is from the audio tape. Jane Doe says, "Don't manipulate me." Sharpe replies, "If you say that word one more time, I'm going to choke the bleep out of you next time I see you." Ooh. Jane Doe pauses, takes a minute, and says, "Well, I don't want to be choked." And Sharpe replies, "Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter." Now, to be clear...
Whoa, he said, I don't think you have a choice in the matter. He could mean, I don't think you have a choice in the matter. You know you a stone cold freak and you down for whatever. You tried to introduce some new bondage and all this to me, and I told you I don't know what it was, but if I knew, I'll be down with it. So you know I'm an old green freak, and I'm down with whatever. And then now you're going to sit here and you're going to say that you don't want to be choked when you wanted to wear a dog collar and be choked. But like they said, if she said no one time, it's no. Let's keep it moving.
This tape may only be a portion of the entire conversation and audio, but this appears to be a portion nonetheless. Jane Doe's attorney, again, Tony Busby, described this audio as, quote, "The contents of this clip are certainly not sexual. They are not playful. They are instead disturbing, aggressive, and dangerous. This audio paints a very clear picture of how Sharpe treated Jane Doe, leading her to escape from him by leaving Nevada and blocking all contact with him." And he added that they released this audio in response to Sharpe's lawyer, Lonnie Davis, trying to discredit Jane Doe by releasing all of these alleged texts, which, by the way, Busby says are basically irrelevant because they're all before the alleged assault. Okay, so now I want to bring on Mauricio Padilla, litigator, criminal defense attorney, to talk more.
My bag, I had the mute on. He said, yo, you let me smut you out. You let me smut you out. And then now you're telling me that I can't. Oh, and now you're telling me that I argue. So all the smutting before didn't lead up to me thinking that when you said no, you mean yes? Somebody explain that to me. Yo, you being recorded. What's up? Where you calling from? Be polite. Let's keep it moving.
Peace, Jay. Rhythm shit happening from Delaware. You already know Divine Energy, man.
All right, Delaware.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, no sound. The sound cut off, G.
Yeah, I got it right now. I got it right now.
But yeah, Shannon, man, he put himself out there, man. He seen all the warning signs, you know what I mean? And he still went for the bait, man, you know. So you can tell he probably, you know, ain't have no women coming up. You know what I mean?
It definitely had no white women, much of pretty white women. So, you know, he was paying like he weighed. She said she wanted $25K cheap. Did that mean that she was going to get him built for $25K or she was going to charge him $25K? Let me know.
She was charging him. She was all about her bag. That's the whole deal. She was charging him $25. And the whole thing is, you know, he came up in the jock world. So, you know, down south, you
Of let's battle this out on the court of public opinion, particularly, by the way, when you're dealing with such a public figure like Shannon Sharpe. The idea of if I'm fighting this in a court of law, but I'm also fighting this in the court of public opinion, if I can put enough out there to try to reverse the narrative, maybe not only I'll still retain my fan base, my career, but also it puts pressure on Jane Doe maybe to stop the lawsuit, or maybe not, because she fired back too.
No, I'm not saying that you know they shouldn't do it, because unfortunately we live in a time where if you don't do that on behalf of your client, are you doing them a disservice? I'm just mentioning the fact that none of this is really allowed pursuant to the rules of ethics. But I understand why they're doing it, because nowadays pretty much the court of public opinion is dictating what happens in court in and of itself. Right. So it's just part of litigating cases nowadays. Are you concerned by the content, the value of those text message conversations? Does it complicate this case?
Hell yeah, it complicates this case. This girl says she want to be tied up, beat up, introducing all types of new crazy sex. And you asking if it complicates the case? Come on, dog.
Let me rephrase. Putting aside, assuming these really are the real conversations and the real messages of Jane Doe, you could say, I mean, she's talking about BDSM.
Yeah, you're being recorded. Who this is? Where you from?
I'm from New York. It's my Lansky, the artist. I was locked up with you. What's good?
Oh, my Lansky. What up, Coleman? What up, family? Hey, yo, get with me. I got another artist that want to showcase his art with your art. That's real nice, too. He hit me up last week. All right, so text me your name and number again so I remember. What's up? What's your comment? Let me keep this moving. Yo, good dude. Tell him where your website, where your face, where your website at. He draw great paintings, man. I was locked up with him. Tell them where you're joined at, where they can find your painting.
I'm gonna send it to you.
You don't want to tell them? No, put it in the comments so everybody know. Not me. I got 140,000 people be tuning in. Put it in the comments. But go ahead now. What you got to say?
Show me how to do it. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. I got my girl do it for me.
All right.
Do all that fancy stuff. I got you though, son. I got you.
All right.
I'm gonna do it right now.
All right. One. All right. Yeah, that was my man.
Dog collars, choking, and then she accuses him of sexual assault and being violent with her. Let me actually read you something from the lawsuit. Okay, so this is from the lawsuit. It says, a woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations with a man 99 times, but when she says no, even once, that no means no. Defendant Shannon Sharpe, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand this basic concept. After many months of manipulating and controlling plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her, Sharpe refused to accept the answer no and raped plaintiff despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no. So,
didn't she say she was into what that young lady just told me was some BDM or something like that, where they tied him up with a crazy black leather chocolate looking suit looking like Catwoman? Could you imagine this boy looking like Catwoman? You know what I mean? And now they say that he are the girl. But you done did all of that, and now you say that all that you want to introduce him to, that he allegedly did it to you, and now you're crying, oh, somebody explain that to me. The number's on the screen. Let's make it happen. I need to know.
So you look at those messages. Are they irrelevant?
If you establish a pattern of, S&M, a pattern of voluntarily submitting yourself to someone, to accepting, violence, to accepting as part of the norm of your sex life, then obviously that's something that can be used, because he's going to say, yeah, it was consensual. So when a jury's trying to analyze whether or not these acts of violence were consensual or not, they can obviously look to the history of the relationship and whether or not she's going to admit it. So now you put her on the stand and you're like, so you allowed him to choke you. You allowed him to hit you previously. And that was something that you guys engaged in, voluntary sexual behavior, and you found it pleasurable. And you did it for the X amount of months. But then on this particular day, you told him no. So it's something that it's fruitful to bring up a trial. I think they would be doing him a disservice if they didn't explore that more. And yeah, ultimately, what Mr. Busby's saying is true. A woman can say yes 99 times and say no that 100th time, but the historical behavior of accepting violence as the norm in your bedroom and in your sex life is something that a jury can look at to determine whether or not she did in fact say no, because he's going to say that she said yes. He's not going to.
Do you hear this? Hey, yo, I want to give a big shout out to Nicholas Barnett, right? They gifted me 5 memberships to my subscribers. I appreciate that. And that's how we show love over here at the Mecca. A round of applause to Nicholas Barnett. You know what I mean? Because it's like they don't understand that the game. Calm down, y'all. Calm down. Can I finish my show? They don't understand that the game is supposed to be sold, not told. Where they think this fancy equipment come where I could do all types of crap like this. I could just bounce around and give you all types of scenes. I could give you, I can give you the whole scene. I could even give you the intro. And then I can even, give you the outro where I go, toast to crime.
Cheers, cheers, toast to crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Once again, thank you, Nicholas Barnett. But that's how we ride over here at the Mecca.
Admit that she said no, that he raped her.
No, I hear you. And I knew that he was going to get on the defensive. I mean, if you believe his side, right, that he's completely innocent, you get hit with this lawsuit, right? You want to defend yourself immediately. He goes out, he puts out this message on Instagram. Do you think he was advised by his lawyer to do so? Let's start there. And B, purportedly outing her, naming her name, just the first name, and also what her apparent handle is or name on OnlyFans. Is that appropriate? That right? I mean, again, he's defending himself.
What's her name on OnlyFans? Somebody put in the comment, what's her name on OnlyFans?
His attorney advised him to do it. If he took those steps without discussing it with his attorney should be very upset at him doing something of that nature. I don't think that an attorney can counsel their client to disclose the identity of a victim in a sex case.
Do he look like he cipher monkey cipher to you? Or does he look like a aura? Or does he look like a citizen? Put it in the comments.
So I don't think that his attorney would ever admit to taking those steps simply because there's laws to protect victims in sex crimes. But I understand why it's beneficial to his defense. I'm putting it out there. I'm saying who you are. I'm saying that you're an OnlyFans person. I'm saying that we were engaged in this voluntary sexual behavior where you possibly accepted money to do sexual things on camera or do sexual things for me. So it definitely benefits his defense in letting people know, listen, this is not the person that Busby's saying that it is. This is the person that I'm telling you who she is.
All right, let me ask you this, right? So can she be charged with selling the coochie? Because, I mean, he paid for the coochie. He paid for the X Act. They did these X Acts. She introduced him to new X Acts. He allegedly followed those X Acts. You know what I mean? While he's paying $25K a cheek. You know what I mean? Could she be charged with selling it? I just want to know why she wasn't charged with selling it. That's all I want to know. Somebody help me understand this, man. Somebody call in, put the number on the screen. Yeah, somebody call in and tell me why she's not charged with selling the coochie. And if a lady called in, that'll be even better. I want a female to tell me, I want you to justify to me why she's not being charged with selling the coochie and he's been charged with taking the coochie. I mean, somebody tell me.
So I think it's beneficial.
And to reverse it, I said this when I covered it earlier in the week. This lawsuit being filed by Tony Busby, he's got crosshairs on him right now. He filed a lawsuit against Jay-Z by a Jane Doe who claims that she was sexually assaulted by Jay-Z when she was 13 years old back in 2000. That lawsuit against him was...
And yo, look at the dude behind Jay-Z. Look like he hiding. It's like he don't want to be seen with Jay-Z. Like, yo, don't look at me. Don't look at me. Yo, I'm not here. I'm invisible. Yo, what the hell is going on in Hollywood?
Dropped. The NBC did a report questioning the credibility of some of her claims. His attorneys came forward and said, no, we have proof that the people you say were there weren't there. And that lawsuit was dropped. He's now being sued. That Jane Doe's being sued. You would think, okay, if this happened, I'm going to maybe take a little step back here. But to go so public and forward with allegations against a high-profile figure like Shannon Sharpe, he must not only believe the account of Jane Doe, he must believe he's got the goods to back it up.
Definitely. And listen,
either that or the trigger crazy. You know what I mean? It's one of those. He ain't got the goods to back it up. He's just a crazy trigger. You know what I mean? He jumping out there. Remember, then he jumped out and said, oh, I'm innocent. I didn't do nothing. The next thing you know, you see him stomping Cassie out. When is Tony Busby going to have CNN drop for them? Put it in the comments. Let's find this out.
When you're an attorney, you have wiggle room in the sense that if you have a client that's telling you what their version, you have to act reasonably, and you can't just believe someone that you may have knowledge that she suffers from psychiatric conditions, but you have a lot of leeway. Like, you have a client that's telling you you're allowed to believe your client and you're allowed to litigate on their behalf. And obviously there's rules in place for a lawyer not to pipe or a complete myth and sue people without a basis. But when you do have a client that's telling you what occurred, I think he has a lot of leeway in the way that he acts, simply because he has a client that's telling him, and he's allowed to believe that client. Now, there's limits, and apparently, regarding the Jay-Z, fronted with evidence that he couldn't refute regarding the lack of liability, then he dropped the lawsuit. If he's defending his own lawsuit, that's separate from this one. So I don't see why a guy like Busby would change his MO, so to speak, and retreat, because at the end of the day, he's making money. He's making money. He's trying to make money, and he's got insurance to defend him of lawsuits. So I don't see why he would change.
Now I want to move on to the audio tape. This audio tape that was apparently released by Jane Doe's side. Now, again, this might only be a portion of the conversation, but it is a portion of this conversation, and it's important. You'll have Tony Busby saying this is nothing fun about this. There's nothing sexual about this. This is disturbing. This is him threatening to choke her and saying she's not going to have a choice. Whereas I imagine you're going to hear Shannon Sharpe say there's more to context to the conversation. Look at what our relationship was like. But this was another move in this chess game, releasing this audio tape. What's your take on it?
Well, listen, an audio tape like that is damning, just because if you're a man and you're talking like that to a woman, even if your defense is, you have to look at the totality of the circumstances. You have to look at the relationship that we had where she was voluntarily submissive to me, and that I was, in a position where we would obtain sexual pleasure from me being a dominant figure. That has to be his defense. But a lot of people would reject that right off the bat. Like, that's something that a lot of people are not going to stomach, are not going to understand. And he definitely has his work cut out in trying to explain to the viewing public why that type of language to a woman is appropriate. Yeah.
Because she introduced it. Why do you think?
His defense has to be that you're only looking at a small piece, but if you look at the entire relationship, that's how we would do it, and that's because she was submissive to me. People are going to reject that.
Now, I'll tell you this. As this came out, I said to myself, how did they release those messages so quickly? They must have had it ready, right? You can't just have those messages. And I said to myself, did they know this was coming? Well, what do I come to find out? According to NBC, Lonnie Davis, again representing Shannon Sharpe, has confirmed that Sharpe apparently made a financial offer to this Jane Doe to try to settle this case before she filed it. In fact, while it seems he first said that it was tens of millions of dollars, then clarified and said it was at least $10 million. So the idea that if that's true, they tried to get to settle it, and then she files, and now they have their messages ready, what does that tell you?
It tells you straight up that he a damn fool. You know what I mean? You don't entertain. That's like somebody saying that they're going to extort you, and you're going to sit there and you're going to have a conversation with them. Well, how much are you going to extort me for? Why are you going to extort me? I don't think I should pay that much. Well, I want this much. Well, I'm not paying you that much. Okay, well, in the street, they just kill you. But, in their world, they just take you to civil court, and that's what they're doing here. Just to clarify that so you'll understand from a street point of view what we're dealing with. All right, let's go.
Listen, I think that's part of what Busby has been doing historically. Like, they approach you and they tell you, listen, we have this. Let me know if you want to resolve this previously. I think if anybody looks at like the P. Diddy didn't do it, right? And then they filed against him and he settled the case in a day. We see the value of resolving cases. So I think it's on par with how Busby has been litigating his prior cases to give them an opportunity. When you look at it, settlement negotiations are usually privileged. If someone hears that he offered $10 million, what is a normal person going to think? He's guilty of something.
Thank you.
People don't just, even if they're rich, don't go out there throwing around tens million or millions of dollars to resolve cases when they're innocent. People are gonna associate that offer of settlement, which they probably shouldn't, but they will. They're gonna associate that offer of settlement with guilt.
At the time of this recording, I haven't seen Shannon Sharpe file a countersuit of any kind, but talk to me if this works. Could he countersue for defamation, or is there a litigation privilege, right? You're allowed to make claims against somebody. You're shielded away from every time anybody sues anybody, the other side will say it's not true. You can't just turn around and say it's defamation, right? I mean, could he sue for defamation?
Right. Well, you're right. There is a litigation privilege regarding defamation actions. So I always tell people this when people ask me, can they sue? People can sue all the time. Whether or not it's going to survive a motion to dismiss, honestly, I've seen it in my career over 22 years. People sue for things that are ultimately going to get dismissed, and it doesn't affect their willingness to do it, their desire to do it. But you're right. There is a litigation privilege because I guess the mindset, the universal mindset is that you don't want to be gagging people in a court of law. You want people to have the freedom to express themselves openly without the threat of litigation while they're in litigation. And that's the entire. So to answer your question, it seems like you're right. A litigation privilege does apply, but nowadays people get sued for all kind of things.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a countersuit because, again, his perspective is this is blackmail. These are false allegations. And by the way, what's the timing of it? And by the way, when we talk about Shannon Sharpe, he's a powerhouse in the podcast space. Hosts Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, tons of followers. According to Front Office Sports, he's expected right now to sign a new contract worth more than $100 million. Do you think that comes into play at all?
The problem with people that have those types of contracts is it doesn't have to mean that you're guilty or not guilty. Just the news in and of itself is going to affect your ability to get followers, to do your job, and to execute contracts. Now, if he loses $100 million contract because of this, whether there's a litigation privilege or not, you can expect a lawsuit. Even if the standard for a motion to dismiss is lower than the standard for a motion for summary judgment, you could file a lawsuit. You could survive motion to dismiss, and routinely judges don't like to decide cases on summary judgment, and they often say that almost anything is an issue of fact for the jury because they know they're not going to get appealed when they make that type of ruling, and they like to kick it to a jury even if it is the type of case that shouldn't survive motion for summary judgment. So what I'm saying is that even if you have a clear defense, even if they don't have a good case, a lawsuit is still something that can be fruitful to either side.
Do you think this is going to end up settling, or is it now just too far down? How do you settle it without one side looking bad?
The problem is when you're dealing with someone like him, that his livelihood depends on the way that people view him, on whether or not people reject him or not, whether or not people are going to tune in or not. Once we're at this point where me and you are discussing it publicly, and it's out in the media, then how do you really repair his reputation? We look at like Johnny Depp, how Johnny Depp had to spend millions of dollars to sue Amber Heard, and at the end of the day, the entire lawsuit was just for him to get back whatever reputation he had, so it wouldn't affect his ability to make money in the future. So, in my opinion, I think that the genie's out of the bottle, and resolving it at this point isn't going to do anything for his reputation and his career. But
all right, so is it going to do anything for his reputation and career? Let's get this thing started. Let's bring this up. Let me come back up here. We got Shannon. So now the comments we got, let's get this right. There should be a law passed where people who come forth with false allegations are in turn prosecuted to the same extent as the alleged defendant. What do y'all think about that? Put in the comment. Let me see what's the next question right there. I like that one. Next, John. Okay. This not a criminal case, it's a civil, so that means they trying to rape him. Yes, rape him of that 50 million he getting ready to get. All right. Yo, you're being recorded. What's up? Who you are? Where you from? Let it be known. Call a line. All right, that's where they from. I believe they're going to make him come out of his pockets. Of course they're going to make him come out of his pockets. That's what this is all about, him coming out of his pockets. The next question should have been up there by now. Let me find the next question. As soon as I start answering, I got to start looking to change it so I can keep it moving a little bit faster, All right. I believe they coming out of his pockets. Okay. She going to get something for stress. Make that her next move because of his offer. He's scared. This is real wild. Fired from ESPN too. What was he fired already? Somebody put it in the comments or call and let me know. Was he fired already? Next question. All right. Unique. I feel brothers in the industry need to find women their own age and leave these want to be groupies alone, or they see is dollar signs, good or bad? Very good point. Very good point. What's the next question? Very good point. Let me get this right. All right. Now, you know, I still brothers in the industry. I'm still looking at that. So, okay. And if he is found to be guilty in the civil matter, he'll definitely be prosecuted next in a criminal case. Do you think that this is just a warm-up for the criminal case? Somebody, because I mean, it sounds like a lot of assault to me. You know what I mean? So it definitely could be. He stepped down until season starts. Oh, okay, damn. Oh, he stepped down. So he's trying to save his name and hope this die out and he could, you know, pay it off under the table with Tony Busby. Next, let's keep it moving. All right, because what we doing? We riding. All right, let me see where we at. If he found guilty, it's a civil suit. What is this from right here? This is bull crap. Women get away with way too much. Well said. He said, I agree. You know, he stepped down because but he's fired. Okay, so he faking. What's up, Sands? You know what it is. You know, unique Mecca audio. Our conversation got cut off, G. However, he is used to dealing with these things because he offered the bag to settle out. Hunter, make damn good sense. You know, what up, chat? All right. How much did he offer? I know he said it was around 10 grand, but anybody know what he offered? You know, it would never hold up in criminal case. The abuse went both ways. That's what I'm saying. So if the abuse went both ways, that means the ex went both ways. So why should it hold up in the civil but not in the criminal? Put that in the comment. Let me see that. I like that. Who said that? Sandro. All right. Sandro Mazzarella. I like that. All right. So we go, yes, sir, bro. You know, 20 minutes. Oh, 20 million. Somebody else said 10 million. Oh my God, next. 10 million. Okay, so the 10 million seems to be the number that they're using, you know? So we don't even know if the audio was role played or not. So it could have been that she wanted to paint him in bad light, meaning he's saying that they could have been role playing the whole time. But while they role playing, she put the tape out there like if this was an actual joint that was going on when it was role playing, right? Offering anything excludes guilt and some type of wrongdoing. I agree. Definitely sounds right. He offered 10 million. They didn't give exact numbers, but his lawyer said it was 20 million. Did he offer that or did she want that? He settled when he was undisputed for 700,000. 700,000. So he's basically a deviant. Whoa. He settled when he was an undisputed. Damn, I didn't know that. All right. 10 million. Then she backed out when she found out about the $100 million deal. So she's gonna take the 700,000. Oh, you get ready to get 10 or 50 million. Now I want more. Allegedly, they settled the case for 23. All right, next, let's see. Oh, damn, he said who settled 23 cases? Tony Busby, or you trying to tell me that Shannon Sharpe settled 23 cases? I mean, he spent a lot of money if he settled 23 cases. Okay, it was offered. Thank you for clearing that up. Thank you for clearing that up. You know what I mean? He offered 10 million in mediation. Oh, dude, you stupid. They were in Vegas and she could sell that little stuff. Somebody tell me what her OnlyFans name is. Let me go check this chick out. You know what I mean? Somebody tell me what a Jordan. See if she's even worth it. You know what I mean? It was in Vegas. If I ain't do nothing wrong, I ain't offering nothing. I agree with that. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. You know? They were role playing, all right. Shannon was the booty taker. from WWE. I like that joint there. Oh, he hit that one right on the spot. Sharp, you know. I put clip of lawyers saying up 20 million, no cap. Word up. Put that up, man. Put that up. Put that up. She played the long game. Her handler ain't playing. Word. Busby want that bag. See, different names. Come on, I'm putting the comments up as you put them up so we keep this moving. She took her OF page down. Oh, she took the page down so I can just anybody screen recorded? You know what I mean? I want to see if she was worth this 10, 20 million. Somebody let me know if you screen recorded it. I definitely would like to see that. Send it to my DM on my number on the screen. Because I can't believe he did it like that. Not Shannon Sharpe. That's scary. Wharton check for the OFF. Word is born. Shannon played the role of a big dummy. But what does he look like, dog? I'm not trying to disrespect him, but just look at these dude with these black glasses. First of all, you're supposed to know those glasses don't go with you because it makes you look like a straight dweeb. You know what I mean? So I don't know who dressed you to put those on. He must have been a He Cypher Monkey Cypher. You know what I mean? Or she must have wanted you to look like a He Cypher Monkey Cypher. Because that's definitely what you're looking like right now. You know? Tony Busby is her pimp. Tony Busby is her pimp. That's why he went from 10 million to 50 million. He needs his cut. Crazy world. Next one. What's good? You already know. Oh, DC Blacks. What up, Eon? You should have came on here, man. I would have loved to hear your opinion on this dude, Tony Busby. Put the link in the comments so Eon, I want to hear Eon's opinion on this, man. Make sure y'all go check out DC Blacks. That's my man and my man Bootsy at Street Knowledge Podcast. You got Zeke Black, you got 050, you got 10 Toes Down, you got OG Blue, you know what I mean? You got Hassan Campbell, you got Zip with the Drip. You know what I mean? We got brothers up here doing our thing. We gonna get it right. You know what I mean? DC Blacks, you already know what it is. Eon in the house. All right, let's see where we at. I don't even know where it's at. Not even showing up. DC Blacks. I think that's it. Salute. Let's get it. All right. You know what it is. Send the link in. Put the link in the comment for Eon real quick. Eon, hit that link. She only wanted the money. She knows he's ugly, but his money is handsome. Gunshots. Hold up, Eon. Let me try to copy this link and put it up here for you, man. See if I get it from my end. I don't even see it over here. Okay, here it is. Invite. Get my man Eon up here, man. Got to get my man Eon up here. All right, where the copy at? Oh, I already copied it. So now we're going to come over here to the comments, see if I got this right. You know, old cool like me learning. I'm going to paste it. Bung. Eon, hit this joint right here and come in, son. I want to hear your opinion on this Shannon Sharpe joint. You know what I mean? She only wanted the money. She knows he's ugly. Okay, his money is handsome. So where we at? Let me get back over here, show these to Eon come up. I got to hear what he got to say. Jay-Z and them suing him so it adds up. You're trying to say that Jay-Z suing him so he trying to get the bag out of Shannon so he could do a Peter Pay Paul with Jay-Z by paying Jay-Z with Shannon Sharpe's number. You know what I mean? Jay-Z about to put him in the dirt. Eon, I put the link in the comments, son. Let me know if you see it. It should have went up. I don't know. Because this joint acting up tonight, man. You know, I'm running a new system, so bear with me. You already know Jay-Z about to put him in the desert. I hate how he put Jay-Z and Diddy. Most definitely Free Smurf. You already know that's Free Smurf all day. I'll go back to that comment. Where's that? What type of wave is Tony Busby on? That's a good one. Somebody let me know. Oh, there go the link, Eon. Hit that link in the comment. All right, this Eon from DC Blacks, man. Get in the camera. We ain't gonna bring you up here playing no unprofessional crap because you don't do that on your channel, so don't bring that to my channel. All right, get yourself situated. I can see you, but I'm not gonna bring you up until you right. You ready? Huh? My man getting right. Now you're going to hear, because I don't want to be the only one giving you a street perspective, so I got to bring my brother Eon up here from DC Blacks, man. You know what I mean? Because this is how we show love. Eon, you can't hear me?
I hear you now.
All right. So what you think about this Shannon Sharpe thing going on? You think he belong in these bars behind us or what? Talk to us.
First and foremost, man, I appreciate you putting me up here, man. To get straight into it, man, I just started checking it out today. No, I don't think he belongs behind no bars. I think that this guy, this Bugsby guy, man, is one of these predatorial type of chaser ambulance type of lawyer, and I think that this foolish attempt that he just tried to do with Jay-Z is showing you kind of like a little bit of his playbook. I don't take him serious at all. I don't think he got the wherewithal. Now, I didn't investigate the woman like that. I seen a couple things on it, but I think it's some bullshit. I think that lawsuits are another way of another form of extortion these days, depending on how they file. You know what I mean? Now, that's not me to say. I can't vouch for whether Shannon Sharpe is a creep or not. I don't know him personally neither. But the dude Bugsby practice says that, you know, he's going after black men with a lot of money that may have some type of extracurricular sexual stuff going on. But I don't know if that make you a criminal or a sexual predator. I don't believe it.
All right, let's see what this caller got to say. Yeah, what's up? Who this? Where you calling from? And you being recorded?
Yeah, man, I want to speak on that Shannon Sharpe. He shouldn't have been with that young white rat bitch. He should stayed from fucking with the right way.
Watch the cuss words, man.
Okay, yes, okay. Well, but he know he was wrong for fucking with the white trash. Throw the trash outside and stick. What you jump over the fence for? Stay on your side of the fence and they stay on there. And that's all I gotta say. Don't call them back again from chat.
Where you calling from?
Chattanooga,
Tennessee in the building. All right. All right. Round of applause to Chattanooga. You know what I mean? Round of applause to Chattanooga. You know? But Eon, hold on, y'all. Let Eon talk. Yo, Eon, give us a breakdown on what you think about this whole joint. I want them to see how you run your show because I want my subscribers to know that they, you know, it's worthy to sign up to your channel because he's one of the most intelligent brothers that I met in the prison system at the time. You know, he had a book called Fast Lane. You know what I mean? I just learned how to read. I'm glad he put it on pages with big ass letters so my slow ass could read it. But that joint is a page turner. He got like 5 novels in one book, and that was his first book. So he was riding. So he told a story, then went to another story, but he brought it back to the story. But everything he could have used for it, and he could rewrite a whole nother book on each, you know, character that he had in that book. But go ahead, though. I just had to give you those flowers, man, because you deserve that. Round of applause again.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
You know?
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate
Yo, relax, y'all. Could y'all let Eon talk? Go ahead, Eon.
Thank you, man. You far too kind. But man, you know, this Shannon Sharpe situation, I don't think it's no different than any black man, and I keep saying black because it seems like that's who all this dude Bugsby going at, or at least since I got hip to him. But any black man that you know accumulates any amount of wealth or affluence, man, you know, you got to be careful. I don't know what type of play that this person ran. I heard a little bit of audio. I'm not gonna repeat the audio, you know what I mean? That's a little graphic, but you know, I think it's some BS. And I watched what the lawyer did with the Jay-Z thing. I looked at the language and what he did with Jay-Z, and I think he's doing the same thing that he did with the Jay-Z matter. I even had like a friendly bet with a family member that Jay-Z wasn't going for. So if he followed the Jay-Z playbook and Shannon Sharpe really ain't do nothing wrong, if he really met her in the gym, keep in mind, if she was 19 or not, you know, person judging them by that, if she was 19 or not, she's not illegal in this country. I don't know what the rest of it's going to be about. You know what I mean? But if you get a couple dollars, you got to protect your money and your reputation at all costs. But I got a question to ask you, Unique, and the people that's tapped there.
Go ahead, family.
What do you think about this information that came from the dude? I want to say his name is the Bonds guy that used to play basketball, to say that Shaq got a humongous bounty of money out for any information on the Shannon Sharpe thing, and he wanted to keep it secret. Did you hear that?
Nah, I didn't hear that. Explain that. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
it was some type of big news on like TMZ or something, and they, somebody must have recorded the dude Bonds talking to somebody, putting the word out that quietly Shaq is willing to pay money, and he say Shaq is known to throw money around for dudes' secrets. He's supposed to got something, some gripe with Shannon Sharpe, and in the process of him having this gripe with Shannon Sharpe, he's willing to pay money about any type of dirt that's out. You know what I'm saying? It looked like Shaq is invested in attacking his character as well, but from behind the scenes.
Let's see if this caller heard about that. Yeah, what up? You know you're being recorded. Where you from? What's your name, family?
Yes, my name is Cheryl. They call me Chips. I'm from Macon, Georgia.
Okay.
And I just love you so much. We got a lot in common because, a long time ago, they used to call it white slavery, prostitution.
Oh, I talked to you before.
I talked to you and your daughter, of course.
Yeah, I couldn't find your number. Please text me your name. And I know you said you're on a landline and you got to wait till your daughter come. I remember all that. But I definitely want to introduce you to my audience. So please, you got my text number. Tell your daughter, sit her ass down and text me, because we got to give my people you.
Yeah, we got to get that. Yeah, we got to get together. Because
check this out, Eon.
Yeah, okay, but I'm gonna make sure that when she's at work, but tomorrow I'll make sure she get everything down and text you my number and everything.
All right. Eon, listen to this one. Tell them a little something about your story and what you think about this white slavery thing, and let them know about when you was arrested for white slavery.
Right.
Yeah, I remember. Come on, I know. Come on.
All right, there you go.
I'm gonna put you on the show. We're gonna do a nice interview.
All right. I'll make sure my daughter do it tomorrow.
Check this out, Eon.
I just want to let them know they coming at these black brothers, but they need to leave these white bunnies alone. See, if he would have had a black woman, he could have took her to church of chicken and bought her a chicken and going on the car and gave up about $30 going to Walmart. He'd have been fine. I ain't mad at him. Get the bag.
All right. Thank you, Beth. Yeah, Eon, she was one of the first black women arrested for white slavery, for bringing white girls across, state line down in the South.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have her up here to tell her story, but I couldn't find a number because they don't understand. When they call me, you need to put your name and where you're from so that I could save you in my contact. Then I'll be able to find you the same way I knew her situation and still don't know her name. You know what I mean? So that's how it be, because I got a whole phone that I get thousands of calls on. And in order for me to respond, you got to put your name and where you're from, and then whatever it is you're saying. And if you got any content you want me to speak on, let me know. Make sure you go check out my brother Eon's show. I started out the prison stories. I pushed him to get into it because he's official, you know what I mean, brother from the street and on the inside. So I told him that, man, do you. He been doing great. I'm proud of him. I'm tired of giving you a round of applause, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he doing great over there. Your love is joint. Relax, y'all. Relax. Your love is joint, except sometimes he slides off the wagon and start beefing with everybody down there in DC. And I tell him, stop beefing with them youngins and let them stay in their lane. You stay in your lane. There's no reason for you to cross over there. They're doing excellent over there, and they know how to navigate that line. You understand? We don't know how to navigate that line because we not there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Let them navigate their line. You can't go into their lane and then get mad when they cut you off. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You brought your black ass over there. They don't come over there the way we're. They don't come over here with me with that, because I don't disrespect nobody and I don't feed into nothing. I don't get my opinion on nothing that I know is going to be controversial, and the rat bastards and flip-flop wearing the public trolls going to take it out of context. Right or wrong?
Right or wrong. You're right.
Yeah. But you're doing great, man, and your numbers just skyrocketed. I remember when you was trying to open up the old page because you had certain numbers. Then you went and opened up a brand new page. I said, man, let's open up a new page, man. You Eon, we're going to push that. And now you on top. and you know, you're doing your thing. Please go check out Eon. I'm asking you from Unique Mecca Audio. That's my man. His show is fire. We both done interviewed Fly. You know what I mean? Fly Fire. Me and him was in 80X together. Fly was with everybody, like I was with everybody, and he got what they would call superhero stories, but they just real life stories. You know, but to you, they'll sound like superhero stories. You know, I might bring Fly back up here and bring Eon with Fly, man, because I ain't doing Prison Jordan in a minute, and that'll be a good one because we all different generations. I'm 60. How old are you, E?
I'm 47.
You see what I'm saying? I got him about 13 years. He's like 2 years older than my oldest son, you know? So that's that generation. And then Fly got me by about 10, 13 years. I got Eon, but we gonna do this. Y'all want this? Put it in the comments, man. Let's see what they saying over here, E. Hold up, let me go over here. Where we at? He did it to himself. Dude was wanted Cat Williams in that Club Shay Shay interview about dealings with snow bunnies. Let me see where we at. Nah, they suing Tony Busby. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Who's suing? I know Jay-Z suing Tony Busby. That's it, right?
Shannon Sharpe said he's suing them too.
Oh, yeah? I can't wait to see that lawsuit. I didn't know that.
You better counter that joint.
Man, real spill. Damn, the black and white. Most people in the position are wired or weird or lames. No game. Money is their game. Word. Read this next one, Eon. I'm having trouble seeing this joint.
Yeah. We got to stop this damn what they doing. Let's worry about you have black women that will do the same thing.
Okay. All right.
I don't think it's a black or white thing.
You know?
Big ups to Fly. Salute.
Yeah, definitely salutes to Fly. Thank you, Sands, because Fly family. You know?
I was hanging out with Big Reds too.
Yeah. Oh, you already know, son. Listen, man. Big Red, my man. Fly, my man. When I met Fly, me and Fly told the story on my page. We'll definitely tell it again when we do the page. Let him tell it in his own words. But I met Fly in 80X. I got locked up for a banger. That's a Bethlehem, as Banky Pound called it. Check out Banky Pound as well. But I got locked up for a bang in 80X, and while I'm in the hole, they bring a new bus in, and they put somebody next to me, and I heard somebody crying in the cell next to me, and I didn't know who it was or what they was crying for. I thought it was crying because of where they was at, you know. But I went up in the vent, you know, as a convict, asked him if he all right, if he needing anything, you know, woo woo woo. And, you know, he was like, nah, man, they killed my brother and they won't, you know, give me the phone to call my family. And I just heard in transit that my brother got murdered, you know. And, you know, I wound up flooding the joint, tearing the joint up to make sure they brought Fly the phone that night so he could call home to his family and jeopardize staying in the hole even longer. But he needed to talk to his family, and he just came and was already going through 2 months. So I took up the weight for him for that. And I bucked what we call in the prison, I bucked the police to get Fly the phone. And, you know, we've been cool ever since, man. You know, good dude, man, good dude. He'd been through hell and back. But, you know, handle it unique, bring Fly and Eon back. You see what they said, son?
Okay, salute.
You reading that? All right. So we're going to put that together for them, because, you know, we got to give them what they want. You know, Big Red. Oh, definitely got to give Big Red a shout out.
Shout out to Big Red.
You know what I mean? So, you know, that's where we at, man. Man, real spill. Let me see it. I want to see something what went on in the top. They probably gone by now, but I'm just good.
Man, real spill. Damn, the black and white, most people in that position are weird and lame. No game. Money is their game.
Yeah, big shout out. Yo, Nicholas Barnett, right? He gifted 5 unique memberships. So he gave 5 people memberships. You see how real dudes is, though, family?
Salute.
You know what I mean? Big shout out, family. All right. So now let me see where we at. Grown Folks Talk, Unique Mecca Audio, original seed in divine energy. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you up there on my Grown Folks Talk. I'm gonna pull one of them off this weekend.
All right, that's a bet.
The young girl lived with Shannon Sharpe. All right. Okay. So you want to be a clown. You want to be a dick rider. You know, the internet today mess people bonds, right? too many under. Read that, Eon.
It say the internet today mess people bonds, too many undermine, BS going on. Soon they not happy, hard to keep them happy. If not love themselves, your game going to be put down all the way. Foot on gas.
See, I thought it was me. Grown folks talk. All right, we got you. We got you. Okay, let me see where we at. We're gonna go down here. Hit the like
button.
You know, I'm just checking some of these before we out. I'll be jamming to that music. Oh, he talking about this, Eon.
Cheers, cheers, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
You see, I like to play with my joints. Yeah, man, we just be having fun, man. Yo, we gonna put something together though, man, with me, you, and Fly. But I'm about to tap out because I gotta go lay it down. I've been up all day. I just wanted to bring him this joint. You good, E?
Yes, sir, man. I catch you next go round, bro.
All right, give me your plug one more time, man. Let me hear you do your plug.
Oh man, first and foremost, man, shout out to you, Unique Mecca Audio, man. Make sure y'all check out, man, DC Black. Subscribe to the channel if you want to, man, see what's happening with some DC history, some prison history, or just some Black history, man. Appreciate the love.